Hello coders, welcome back you all in another video. So today we are going to create this awesome to-do list in reactjs. So we are not going to use any extra libraries like redux and react redux, all that things. So I have kept it very simple to those who have very like basic knowledge of react. So we will only use react and its core concepts like hook, and one of the hook which I have used in it like that is use state hook. So it will clear your concept of that particular hook also, and you will learn how to create a to-do list. And I have added both the features, like you can add any items and you can remove any items. Hey, my name is Abhishek Raj. You are watching Coder, and if you are interested in web development and programming, then please hit that like and subscribe button. And let's start after this small intro. So first of all, open your terminal or CMD if you are using Windows, and if you are using Mac, then we call it terminal here. So let me show you first the folder where we are going to create our project. So inside this project there is a React project folder, and here we will create the to do app, means another folder where we will work. So manually we are not going to create that folder. We will write a npx code that will automatically create that folder for us and set up all the React folder modules, whatever we need to run a React project. So here I will write a code that is ls, and here you can see the list of directories like application desktop. So we have to move into desktop, so I will write cd desktop, then forward slash, then projects, because there is a project folder on desktop, and inside this project there is another folder that is react project. So I will write a react project. So basically I am moving into that particular folder. This is the path of that folder, React project. Now I am inside the React project, so I have written clear, and now I will write npx create react app. So this is the code, and last one, the name of the folder which you want to give, like to do app, my app, your app, anything you can write here. So the code is basically npx create react app, and this will, after some time, by downloading all the resources, you will be able to see your folder inside the React project folder. So here you can see it is downloaded. Inside this to do app there is multiple files and folders which are necessary for React app. So here it is downloaded. Now I will open my VS Code. So it is Visual Studio Code from Microsoft. So I will open that folder, and it is present on desktop, projects, React project, and here the to do app. So I will open it, and I will show you all the things here. So basically here you can see the folders node modules, public, and src. So we don't have to do anything in all that folders. We will work inside the src, and you can see multiple files. So these are, some of them are unnecessary, so we will remove it, like setup text and report web vitals. So we will delete all these files one by one, and the logo svg, so we will remove this also, and the app test also, and app.css also. So now index.js, index.css, and app.js are the remaining files that we will keep now. So here we will remove this import logo because logo is deleted and app.css file is also deleted. So we will remove that import, otherwise it will give error. So here I will write import react from react, and in the index css we will not do anything, and in the index.js we will remove this code and this one also. So, and we will remove this import, and now I will open my terminal here. this is the inbuilt terminal of VS Code, and I will write here npm start to start the React application in the browser. So it will automatically start. We have to just wait for few seconds, and here you can see it is started, and I have got an error that line number 7 in app.js logo is not defined. So because we have deleted the logo, so let's see. In line number 7 here you can see the image and the src, so we will remove that. It was using the logo. Now the problem has removed and our application is working properly. So first we will create our CSS part, and then we will move into the functionality. So in the app.js, let's check first of all. So I will write here a h3, and inside that I will write a text that is to do, and I will save. Then you can see the text is present in the browser. Now in the index.css, there is few codes you want to delete, then you can, otherwise it won't be a problem for you. So I will write from the bottom asterisk universal selector and margin 0 and padding 0 to remove all the unnecessary margin and padding from the window. So here you can see now that margin is removed. Now I will make it in single window so we can see the code and changes at the same time. In the src I have created a folder that is component, and inside the component I will create a file todo.js and one more file that is todo.css. So basically we will write all our css in todo.css, and all the todo means component will be present in the todo.js file. And in the todo.js I will write import react from react. So this is very necessary thing, you have to import react in every file. And now I will create a function. So basically this function is the component, so I will give the name to do, and inside that I will return a statement. So inside that parenthesis I will write the return, like HTML, all the HTML things will be written inside the return, and here I will write h3 again, and I will write to do container to do component. And now I will export this because this is a component and you will use it in another file, so we have to export it first. So I will write export default and to do. So now we can use this component in another file like app.js. So here I will write to do. So in this way you can call to do component in other files. So here you can see a import statement is automatically written above, like import to do from component and to do. So in this way you can import a component. So if you will remove this like a statement here, import to do, then you will get an error that to do is not defined or like that. So let's see, to do is not defined because this is another file, to do is present in another file, so we have to write that import thing that way. So now in the import, so now in the todo.js we will remove this. This is only for the testing purpose. So now I will write a div here, and inside that I will give a class name that will be container. So you can give the name, is up to you. And inside the css file todo.css we will write container, and I will provide the width and height here. So width will be 100 view width and height will be like 100 view height, and I will give a background color. so the background will be black. So hash 000, so this is the code for black. So when I am saving, you can see nothing is changed, no changes in the browser, because we have to link that CSS file in the JS file. So again we have to import it, and then we will give double quotes and the path of that CSS file. So in this way we have to link the CSS file in the todo.js. So in the similar way which we do in HTML and CSS, now I am changing the background colors, and then you can see it is working properly. Now one thing I will do before starting the code, I will create a root here. Basically in this root we will create some variables like color, primary color, secondary color. So this will be what does it do, like here I am writing primary and I will write the color, one color code that I will use in the in almost all the application. I will use this color, and a secondary color name is up to you, you can write anything, it is a variable, and we will call it everywhere. So we have to we don't have to copy paste every time, like copy the color code from one div and paste again, then again copy it and then again paste. Width also same thing. So you can create here custom variables, and you can use it as a variable at multiple places where you ever you want in the CSS file. So I have defined a primary, a secondary, and color code you can see it, and width 400 pixel, border radius. So any name you can give, but you have to give double hyphen before that, and then colon, and then the value, and then semicolon. And now border radius 8 pixel and shadow, because we will use I will use a shadow there, so that's why I'm writing it earlier. So from next time I have to only call the shadow. So now I will remove this hard code here, background red. I will write here a var. This is a function var, and inside that I will write the whatever primary, secondary. So in this way you can call that variables which you have defined in the root by the var function. Now you can see the background is changed, and we will move into the todo.js, and here I will write another tag, that is section, and I will give again another class name here, that is to do list. And in this CSS file I will write to do, actually it should not be to do list, I will write here to do container. So I will give the width, and again similarly we have defined the width, so we will call the function, I will write var, and inside that width. And height we have to write by ourselves because height is not mentioned there. So I will call the background with the secondary color, that is yellow one. And here it's not working because we have written to do list, so I am changing it into container. Now you can see the to do container. I will write border radius, again var, and inside that double hyphen and border radius. So you can see corner is now rounded. Now in the container I will write display flex and align item center and justify content center. By writing three lines, the our to do container will be visible in the center of the window. So now you can see it is in the center of the window, and after that in the to do container, this is the to do container, and inside that I will create a div, and I will give the class name to do list. So inside the to do container, now the to do list is present, and again a div, and I will give a class name post btn. Means the first part will contain the list which you will add, and the second part will be containing input box and button. And again in this to do list I will create a section, and inside that section I will create a span, and I will write to do list. So this will be the basically the text, and another span, and this span will be the close button. So here I am writing X. So X, you can use either icon or images, anything, but I'm giving a text here only. So in the post button there will be two things. One will be the input, and in the input I will write placeholder, and I will give write list, and this will be the input box, and again the button by which we will click and the list will be added. So in the button I will write add. So this is the basic structure. You can see text, close button, input box, add. So now we will style one by one. So first of all, in the post button we will provide the width. So width will be as usual 400 pixel. Now the background color, so actually I will use some different colors. So here you can see the code ff4. So this will be the code you can see, and again inside the post button there is the input. So first we will style it. So we will provide the width, and for that I am using calculate function, and inside that I will write var, and var means var width means 400 pixel and minus 100 pixel. So this calculate function does that. I have written first of all the 400 and then minus 100 pixel, then it will calculate that I have written 300. So manually you can also write 300, or by writing this calculate, this will do that your code will be dynamic one. And again I will write border none and padding 10 pixels. Styling is up to you. If you know styling, then you can design a to-do list in different style on your own. And I will write background transparent here. Then the color of the text will be white. So when I have written white, then the text of the right list will not change, because that is a placeholder, and I am removing the outline of that input box by writing outline none. To change the placeholder I am writing post btn, then input, then double colon, then placeholder. So in this way you can call a placeholder and modify it. And I am writing the color because I only want to change the color. So now you can see the color is changed of the placeholder, and now the input styling is done. Now in the post button we will style the button, that add button you are seeing. So we will style it. So the width we will provide is 100 pixel, and now I will remove the border. Actually I will provide the border radius first. So border radius, and then I will write border none. So the unwanted border will be removed by that. And then the padding 10 pixels. So I will change the background letter. So font weight is 700 pixel, and background will be writing ff6161. So you don't have to remember these codes, I have written it, so I am writing, that's why. And now I have removed that padding, so that's why that alignment was not proper. Now I will write cursor pointer, because when we will hover on that button, then cursor will become a pointer, and I am writing transition 0.1 or 2 seconds linear. So this will change it smoothly. Like if we will add a hover effect, then it will change with some transition effect. So on hover, we will just change the background color little bit, slightly different. I am writing here it is same color, but its transparency will little more dull, so it will look more lighter when we will hover it. So you can see our work is done inside the post button. Both input and button is styled. Now in the to-do list, that section, we will give a class name list to that, and we will style that list. So first of all, we have to provide the width, that is 400. So we don't have to write 400, we will call the var, and inside that the width is present. And height will be max content, and padding I am writing 5 pixels, so 5 and 10. And after that, the background, so background is like similar to yellow but little bit lighter. And border radius, and again font weight, so font weight I am giving 400. Then font size, I think we should change the color first, so the color will be black, but I have written, but color is already black. So now I am writing display flex and justify content space between, because there is two elements, one is to-do list and one is X, means the close button. So this will be displayed like this. And I am writing margin bottom 3 pixels and font size 14 pixels, so it will be little bit smaller. And I am writing in the post button, we have missed the border radius here, so that's why the add button is looking that way. Now we will copy this list section and paste it here again, and we will remove this X inside that, so this will be the heading. So in the CSS I will create a class, means I will style a class here. So at the bottom I will write bg hyphen heading, and inside that I will write background, so background will be black and color will be white, and the font size will little bit larger so that it can look like a heading, and font weight little bit more bolder. And now I will add that class name inside this, means inside this section. So by saving this, you can see the to-do list is become a heading. So now our UI is almost done. One thing we have to change here, more thing I am doing, that in the close button we have to add a cursor pointer, so it can look more attractive. When we will hover it, then the cursor will change into pointer, so that it can look like a button. So here I am writing close icon, that class I have given to that span, and I will write cursor pointer. So now you can see the cursor is changing, and the to-do list, the input section is also okay, this add button is also okay. And one thing we have to change here is the height of the to-do container, we will change into max content. So now it will adjust automatically, and now our UI is completed. So we have completed our UI part, and now we will add the all functionalities. So here I will import the hooks. So give comma and write use state inside curly bracket and use effect. So these both are hooks. So we can import it from React like this. And what we are going to do first, that here in the component section, first see, this is the input box. Here we will write what is the what we want to add in the list, and then we will click on this add button, and that will be added here. So our first work is to take this input variable, what we are writing inside this, that should be stored in a variable first. Then we can use it like whatever we want to do with it. So I am writing here const, then a square bracket, then input, and then set input. So and equals to use state, and then parenthesis, and then a single quotes, then semicolon. So what is this? This is a like structure of use state. So I have written a const, this is a declaration, then in the square bracket this is a destructured array. So the input is a variable and set input is a function. So this use state hook takes two parameters, one is variable and one is function. And this single quotes which we have written empty string, that is the value of this input variable in the initial stage. So when I will console.log this input, then you can then you will be able to see a empty line that will be printed, because you can see the todo.js line number 6, it is coming from line number 6. So this empty string is printing. When I will write avi, then you can see avi text is printing. So input value is like we are setting that input variable value at initial stage like this. So now you can understand what is state hook. And the second one is the set input. So set input is used to change the variable change the value of this input variable. So in this input hook which we have defined, what we will use whenever we will write something inside this, then the so let me open it in another tab, so that we can see the console here in clearly. So let me show you something. So you are seeing this. So I will remove this console log here, and this is the declaration of use state. In the input tag, what we will do right now, its value is nothing. So I will set a attribute value, then equals to say, curly bracket and input variable, means that input state which we have declared. Now here in the input section, when I am trying to, after writing this value attribute, when I try to write something, then I cannot type anything. You cannot see my keyboard, but right now I am typing on my keyboard, but nothing is, this input field is taking nothing, means it is not changing. But when I am changing this value there, then you can see the input field is changed by changing the variable on the use state, means the initial state is changed. So now you can see we can directly manipulate it from there, but we cannot change it right now by writing in the input field. By clicking on any button, it will not work. So to work that, means to take that values what we are pressing on the keyboard, we have to write on change event handler and then curly bracket, and inside that we will write a fat arrow function, and there we will pass a synthetic event. This is a synthetic event, so it is a JavaScript part. If you don't know, just leave it. Means and event means like whatever event means we will press a key, then it is a event. So that event is passed as a parameter, and then I am writing here set input, then e dot target dot value means what is the event that will be passed in the set input as a parameter, and then e dot target means which target we have pressed, like which key we have pressed, and dot value. So this will immediately, on every click, it will change the value of this input. Like when we will write a, then it will this input value will become a. When we will write b, then it will change to b, but it will hold the previous value also. Like here you can see, now we can be able to change the input value, and when where I am writing something, then we are able to write, but you can not see the difference right now because you don't have the concept right now. So let me show you one more thing. So right now I have cleared that initial value to a empty string, and here you can see. So now in this tab I will show you something. Click on this arrow button, and in the option you will see component. Here click on the to do. So this is our component which we are creating, and here you can see the hook section. So in the hook we have declared a state. So this is one state, one use state we have declared. So here one state is created, and whenever we will write anything, then automatically it will be updated here. Like every key which we are pressing, that is stored in this hook. See, everything which we are writing, just automatically it updates in this hook. By this what's happened, we don't need to take input like document dot get element by id, like that. We don't have to do that much thing to take input from the user. Just we have to set up this thing, and the input whatever they are writing in that particular field will be stored in the input variable or the state which you have created. So it becomes more easier to take the input from the user. So whenever he writes something like reading or something, then automatically it is stored in this input state, or you can call it simply as a variable. So it will automatically, and here I will create another function. This is a arrow function, and this is actually, if you don't know, then simply understand this is the basic structure of it. Const and the name, and then equal to parenthesis. And now in the button we will call this function here by adding event handler on click, and I will call add. So now when I will console anything, and this will be a double quote here, and when we will click on this add button, then in console you can see the clicked like 1 2 3 here. So it means this function, add function, which we have created is working properly. So now, because we have written we have done the we have set the input variable, whenever something will be written, that will be stored in that input state. So the next stage, the next step is to add it inside the list. So for that I am creating another state, that is I will give it a name to do, mean the variable name to do, and set to do. Set to do will be the function that will change the to do, and this time this to do will not be a string. Like first we have declared it a string, the input is a string, but this will be a array. So inside this use state we will write that simply square bracket. This means this to do is a type of array, and this the input which we have declared. So that was a string, because inside the use state we have used single quotes or double quotes, so that means it is a string. And when we are have written the square bracket, that means this to do is a variable but it is a array. And if we write the curly bracket, then that will be that state will be a object. So now we have created the array. So simply what we are going to do, anything user will write, that will be pushed into the array. Every time he will write, that will be stored in the array. So now how we will do that? So set to do is the function that will modify that array. So here inside that set to do, I am passing a array, the structured array, and I have written triple dot to do, means the previous value of to do. If it contains some values, then that value, and comma a new value. So in new value, I am not passing a simply string, I am passing a id and a value, means I am creating a object, means this array will hold a object, means one object, two object, three object, like that. It will not contain a simple string. So this will help us when we will delete, when we will want to delete, then we can delete any item by catching it id. So simply you can understand it. If this array will have some previous value, then that value, and then comma, then curly bracket, and the new object. And when I am consoling it, so we will see it in the console whether it is working or not. So here when I am writing sdf, so you can see first we are getting in empty string. So once more let me click, because it updates one click later, but it is not a problem here. So you can see sdf is created, id is 0 and value is sdf. So this next is text is avi. So you can see it is updated, and the avi is actually I have created the avi. So here you can see avi is created with the id 0 1 2. So in this way we can means our array is working properly, and the element inside that is object. You can see there are three objects there. So now we have created our array. So the here if you see id, what is the id here? Id is nothing but to do is the array, and its dot length, means if it is empty then 0 will be id, and if it is like 1 2, then it will just increase it length, update the id by the length. Till now we have set the input value, set the to do array. We have our add button is also working. When I am writing something, then it is updating in the array. Now simply we have to render this array, means the list, the to do list which we are seeing here inside yellow one, means the in the UI section, the list where the items will be visible or loaded. So that will be like the all that will contain all the values of the array, to do array. So simply here this is basically a spread operator. This is called a spread operator, means anything inside that to do array will be come inside outside the square bracket, means you can call it as a previous value, and comma this will be new value. So I hope you can understand, because this is not a very like I will not go into very deep, like this is how the basics of very basics, but I'm trying to explain it as much I can in this video. So here the length, in as I told you in the id, we are setting the to do dot length, means if empty string then id will 0, when length is 1 then id will 1. So that is the simple concept here, and this way object is created, and it is like it is added in the array every time when we press the add button. So here now we will update the UI. So here in the to-do list, so you can see the first one is the heading, the second one is the list. So this to-do list we will just below that here, this is the thing, this will be multiple time like created, uh, how much element is present inside the array, that much time this section will be rendered. So here I am writing curly bracket, then to do, then dot map. To do is a array and map is a function that will map on every item of this array, and inside that fat arrow function I am passing. This is the arrow function. So in the curly bracket here you can see I will write a value, means parameter. This is a value and key. So value will be the values of that array, and key is a like just see understand that it is a index 0 1 2 3 like that. And then we will return, and then I will copy that section here and paste it inside the return statement. So now you can see two to-do list are visible. So one that is outside, I will delete it. Now this is right now the hard code. So we will remove this to-do list and we will write here curly bracket and value. So value is the object, and inside that object there is a property value. So to access that we have to write value dot value. So now you can see it is empty because right now the initial stage the array is empty. So in the section after the class name I have written key and passed the second parameter key there. So because this is the main uh, wrapper here, this section is the main container inside the return, so it takes this key parameter. So that's why we have to write that. So when I am writing read book and click on add, then you can see it is added inside the to do app. When I am writing another text, then you can see it is added inside the our list. So it means it is working properly. So here is one more thing, that when I am writing, then this text is not cleared after, like when I will click this add button, then it should be cleared automatically. So for that, in the add function, what we will do, this is the set input, that was the function to handle input. So I will write set input parenthesis and empty string. So it will make the input variable empty every time when we will click the add button. After adding it in the array, it will make it empty. So this will uh, be good whenever we will write, then this box will be emptied and we don't have to delete every time and write again and again. So now our array and this mechanism which we have built is working properly. So now here what we will do, this is the close button. So one thing I will do, that this create a function here, again the arrow function, and I will give it name delete and delete item, then equals to, then parenthesis, then equal to arrow, then curly bracket, and inside that all the statement. So before that I want to explain you the mechanism. So in the on span we will write on click. So this is event handler, and inside that we will write another fat arrow function, and here I will call the delete item function, which will delete the list which we want to delete. So, and parenthesis I am writing here because we will pass a ID, means the ID which we are getting this, like this is the movie. Suppose this is the movie and we clicked on this close button, means delete button. So this will delete only this movie, not any other items of the list. So that's why in the to do app I have not created the string, like I have not added all the inputs as a string. I have created first object and then id and then value. So by id we will catch this movie, like we have to delete this movie because this is 2 times. So we will pass the id because by id we can catch that this element, and we will remove it from the array, and that will be removed. And so here you can see I am passing the key, and inside this section I have written id equals to key. So what is this is doing, every this read book movie, then the second movie, then the go, then this all are section multiple times. So this first, second, third will be having id of 0 1 2 3. So now we can call it in the javascript document.get element by id 0 1 2 3 and delete that item. So first in the delete section, means in delete item function, I will write here. So the mechanism is, first we will delete the array, means we will, when I'm getting the id that I want to delete this id, then I will directly write to do dot pop and the key, like what the key I am passing. Like inside this pop we have to pass the index, like array index, like 0 1 2, which element I want to delete. So I want to delete 0 or 1 2. So from this, when I will click, then id will be passed, and in that id that will be to do dot pop, and there that id will be we are passing, then that id will be that element will be removed. And the secondly I am calling document.get element by id key. So and dot this is style dot display equals to none. So by writing this, what is happening, so first we are passing a key here in the span button, span section. We have written on click, then delete item, then we are passing key parameters. So suppose the id is 0, 0 is passed there in the function declaration const delete item. So 0 is passed, and we have written there to do dot pop. So we have passed, actually suppose we have passed 0, the id is 0. So to do dot pop 0. So that is, we have written that the value inside the array that is at the 0 index, that should be removed out from the array. But the second line we have to we have written because the array is updated, but the ui will not be not be updating. uh, that's why at the same time what will happen, that section will also be displayed none. So our array value of the array is also removed, and the section, that particular list, like anyone, like we will delete, then that item, that ui also will be displayed none. And when we will remove refresh, then that value will be, because it is removed from the array, then it will not be rendered again. So this is the main funda of our uh, to do list, how we can add and how we can remove it from the array. And there are many like features that you can add here or integrate it. So but for now we have only just created adding and deleting feature, and I am removing that use state because we have not used here. I thought we will have its need, but in this video we have not used it. So in another video we will see how to use effect hook, and the source code of this to-do app will be available on my GitHub page. So I will provide the link in the description also, and you can directly come here on the repository and check and download it. And if you like this video, then subscribe my channel and share this video to your friends.